Welcome to our time together. This week, I'm going to share with you a sermon by Martin Luther King Jr. entitled, Our God is Able. And as I do so, keep in mind that it will reflect the language and the culture of the mid-60s when it was written. He bases his sermon on the text from Jude, verse 24, Now unto him that is able to keep you from falling. At the center of the Christian faith is the conviction that in the universe there is a God of power who is able to do exceedingly abundant things in nature and in history. This conviction is stressed over and over in the Old and New Testaments. Theologically, this affirmation is expressed in the doctrine of the omnipotence of God. The God whom we worship is not a weak and incompetent God. He is able to beat back the gigantic waves of opposition and to bring low prodigious mountains of evil. The ringing testimony of the Christian faith is that God is able. There are those who seek to convince us that only man is able. Their attempt to substitute a man-centered universe for a God-centered universe is not new. It had its modern beginnings in the Renaissance and subsequently in the Age of Reason, when some man gradually came to feel that God was an unnecessary item on the agenda of life. In these periods and later in the Industrial Revolution in England, others questioned whether God was any longer relevant. The laboratory began to replace the church, and the scientist became a substitute for the prophet. Not a few joined Swinburne in singing a new anthem, Glory to man in the highest, for man is the master of things. The devotees of the new man-centered religion point to the spectacular advances of modern science as justification for their faith. Science and technology have enlarged man's body. The telescope and television have enlarged his eyes. The telephone, radio, and microphone have strengthened his voice and ears. The automobile and the airplane have lengthened his legs. The wonder drugs have prolonged his life. Have not these amazing achievements assured us that man is able? But alas, something has shaken the faith of those who have made the laboratory the new cathedral of men's hopes. The instruments which yesterday were worshipped today contain cosmic death, threatening to plunge all of us into the abyss of annihilation. Man is not able to save himself or the world. Unless he is guided by God's Spirit, his newfound scientific power will become a devastating Frankenstein monster that will bring to ashes his earthly life. At times, other forces cause us to question the ableness of God. The stark and colossal reality of evil in the world, what Keats calls the great agony of the world, ruthless floods and tornadoes that wipe away people as though they were weeds in an open field, ills like insanity plaguing some individuals from birth and reducing their days to tragic cycles of meaninglessness, the madness of war, and the barbarity of man's inhumanity to man. Why, we ask, do these things occur if God is able to prevent them? This problem, namely the problem of evil, has always plagued the mind of man. I would limit my response to an assertion that much of the evil which we experience is caused by man's folly and ignorance, and also by the misuse of his freedom. Beyond this, I can say only that there is and always will be a penumbra of mystery surrounding God. What appears at the moment to be evil may have a purpose that our finite minds are incapable of comprehending. So, in spite of the presence of evil and the doubts that lurk in our minds, we shall wish not to surrender the conviction that our God is able. Let us notice first that God is able to sustain the vast scope of the physical universe. Here again, we are tempted to feel that man is the true master of the physical universe. Man-made jet planes compress into minutes distances that formerly required weeks of torturous effort. Man-made spaceships carry cosmonauts through outer space at fantastic speeds. Is not God being replaced in the mastery of the cosmic order? But before we are consumed too greatly by our man-centered arrogance, let us take a broader look at the universe. Will we not soon discover that our man-made instruments seem barely to be moving in comparison to the movement of the God-created solar system? Think about the fact, for instance, that the Earth is circling the Sun so fast that the fastest jet would be left 66,000 miles behind in the first hour of a space race. In the past 7 minutes, we have been hurled through more than 8,000 miles through space. Or consider the Sun, which scientists tell us is at the center of the solar system. Our Earth revolves around this cosmic ball of fire once each year, traveling 584 million miles at the rate of 66,700 miles per hour, or 1.6 million miles per day. By this time tomorrow, we shall be 1.6 million miles from where we are at this hundredth of a second. The Sun, which seems to be remarkably near, is 93 million miles from the Earth. 6 months from now, we shall be on the other side of the Sun, 93 million miles beyond it. And in a year from now, we shall have been swung completely around it and back to where we are right now. So, when we behold the illimitable expanse of space, in which we are compelled to measure stellar distance in light years, and in which heavenly bodies travel at incredible speeds, we are forced to look beyond man and affirm anew that God is able. I'll continue this sermon in our next video devotion. But for now, would you pray with me, please? Holy God, forgive our arrogance when we believe that we are able, that we are in control, that we can manage this world in which we live. Remind us always that our greatest achievements are humbled by your magnificent power that we see at work all around us. Amen. Thanks for joining me. We'll talk again later.